Hi, Gregory Sporton here from Big Train. I have just received a promo copy of a lovely new book on the band. It's called Time and Tide, the songs of Big Train by Andrew Wild and Douglas Helvering. Now you might be thinking, hang on a minute, there's already been a couple of books on BBT. Do I really need another one? And the answer to that question is yes. Yes, you do, because this book is different. In this book, Andy and Doug seek to tell the story of the band through our songs. So it's a deep dive. It's a very deep dive. It's a 540-page deep dive into every song that Big Train has ever recorded. And in fact, it also covers some songs that have been lost along the way as well. So everything you need to know about BBT material is in there. Now you might then be thinking, it sounds a bit dry, but in fact, I would say this book is wetter than a fish's wet bits. We've sought to make sure that the beautiful writing is interspersed with lots of visual material. So for example, we've dug deep into our archives and found our old newsletters, Ian Cooper's old notes for when we were writing our first batch of songs. We've got material through from Sean, one of our former singers, about the Gathering Speed album that he was heavily involved in. There's a couple of chapters in here about lost albums as well. Now I love a lost album because it's kind of what might have been. And there are a couple of those in the Big Train story, the most significant being one called Hope. And this is an album that was primarily worked upon by David back in 2014, 2015. And it was going to be our double concept album. But in fact, basically, we ran out of time to finish it, and it got lost along the way. So what Andrew and Doug have sought to do is to reconstruct how the album would have been. A track listing, they've got copious examples of David's notes in here to try and make sure that we get a feel for how that album would have sounded. And speaking of David, what we also sought to do is to make sure his voice is fully heard in here. Thanks to his partner Sarah, we've got access to his archive, and we've been able to make sure that he is absolutely represented in here because he's a huge part of the story of the band. The other thing is making sure that current band members are fully represented in here too. So there's articles from all of the current band members with regard to how they go about writing songs, what songwriting means to them, and also Andy and Ian from the very first lineup, the founder members are here too, as well as Rob Aubrey, our long-standing sound engineer. So, Time and Tide, the song's Big Train, out in September. A little bird tells me that the keenest prices for the book are on our official websites, so I've got links to those below this video. Those websites are Burning Shed and Band Wagon, and we try to cover as many markets in the world as we can do, so choose your store carefully. We hope you enjoy the book. Cheers.